So looking at rotation of 90 degrees clockwise, if I was to rotate the picture, like we know we can rotate the picture, if I was to rotate it, it will turn to be like that, right? The black 90 degrees clockwise will turn into the red. We need to know the rules. So let me follow a point. Like I said, when it's a picture, you can literally rotate the screen of your Chromebook or rotate the paper if it's a quiz or test. But let's take a look at the rules. If I look at L, the coordinates of L right now are 4, -1. I'm gonna follow a point where my numbers do not repeat because I want to see if they flip, and then I don't want a 0 because I want to see if the signs change. Now, if I look at L prime, the coordinates of that one are -1, -4. So 4, -1 becomes -1, -4. Ignore the signs. Do my numbers flip? Yes. So for 90 clockwise, to begin with, I'm gonna write YX to begin with because my numbers flipped. Did any of them switch signs? Yes. The X value, the one that was X to begin with, switch signs, right? The one that was X to begin with. So on the X, I'm gonna write a negative sign. So XY becomes Y -X. Okay. So we know this rule. Let's take a look at 90 degrees counterclockwise. So if I have this picture and I ask you guys, rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise, you guys are gonna grab the paper and literally go 90 degrees counterclockwise. If you guys do that, it will look like that, right? 90 degrees against the clock. We need to know the rules. So let's follow a point. Like I said, I don't want to follow F, G, or D because on those points, one of the coordinates is 0. And I want to know if the signs change, and 0 we cannot tell. So I'm going to follow the point E. The coordinates of E are -4, 5. If I look at E prime, my coordinates are -5, -4. Now, for the rule on the board, did my numbers flip? Yes. So I'm going to write YX because my numbers flip. Did any of them change signs? The Y value, the one that was Y to begin with. So I'm going to say XY becomes -YX. Okay. So we know those rules. Once again, these rules are very useful when we don't have a picture. If I give you coordinates only. Take a look at 180. Rotation of 180 about the origin. If you rotate it 180 degrees, it will look like that. Like you can imagine, I flip the page, 180 degrees. Let's learn the rules. So I'm going to follow the point U. The coordinates of U are 1, 2. If I look at U prime, the coordinates of U prime are -1, -2. So now, did my numbers flip? No. So I'm going to write XY becomes XY to begin with. Numbers did not flip. Did any of them switch signs? Which one? Both of them? So I'm going to say -X becomes -Y. So we have the rule now. Okay. Now that we have that, we can use the rules when we don't have pictures. So let's take a look at something like this. So, matter of fact, let me put 2 examples there. I'm going to do 90 degrees counterclockwise, and I'm going to do 180 degrees. So counterclockwise, according to my notes, it says XY, according to the here, becomes -YX. So my numbers are going to flip, and the value that was Y to begin with is going to switch signs. So if I'm looking at H prime, remember the one that's going to switch sign is the one that is the Y value. So H prime should be 2, -4. Right? The one that was Y to begin with, switch signs. If I look at it, my I, so I prime, my value should be -3, -5. Right? The one that was Y value switched signs, and my numbers flipped. If I take a look at J, my y value has to switch signs. So j prime will be -1, 0. Now, what do you guys get for k prime? +3, +1. Because only the y value is the one that changes signs. Thank you. So, easy. Easy to do. Yeah. Let's take a look at 180. According to the board, it says that xy becomes -x, -y. So my numbers are not going to flip. I'm just going to change signs on both of them. So if I look at h prime, my value will be 2, -2. All I did was change signs. If I look at I prime, my values will be 3, -4. Once again, I just changed the signs. If I look at j prime, my values will be 0, -4. Right? There's no such thing as -0, so that's why I just wrote 0. But technically, I switched the signs on both. What do you guys get for k prime? -20. Thank you. Just change the signs. There's no such thing as -0. So once we know the rules, it's easy to tell, right? It's easy to work. Okay. Now I want to ask you guys to write a rule. For question number 6, you might see the picture. We start with the black because I see the notation. The letters are just K, just H, just I, just the letter by itself. I notice on the blue, each of them have the little apostrophe. So I know the black came before the blue. Okay, so you might see it. You might see what's happening, what type of rotation is happening. But if you cannot see it, follow a point. I'm not going to follow H because the coordinates of H are 2, 2. I will not be able to tell whether my numbers flip or not. So I'm going to follow I. I'm going to follow the point I. The coordinates of I are 2, 3. I want to follow a point such that the numbers are not the same because I'm looking to see if they flip or not. And neither of them are 0 because I want to see whether the signs switch or not. So I is 2, 3. I prime, I notice, is -3, 2. So my numbers did switch, and the one that was white switched signs. So what I'm trying to see is my values did switch, and the one that was white to begin with changed signs. Which one is that one? 90 degrees counterclockwise. Thank you. So I'm going to write rotation 90 degrees counterclockwise. I'm going to abbreviate counterclockwise as CCW. So C was easy. You might see, yeah, I can see 90 degrees against the clock. If you could have seen it, then just type in the answer. But if you cannot see it, then use the coordinates. Now, number 7, yeah, we cannot see it, right? We have to use the coordinates. I'm going to follow the point F and becomes F prime. I'm going to follow that point because my numbers do not repeat because I want to see the flip or not. And neither of them are zeros. So then I ask myself, do my orders switch? No. So I'm just going to write X and Y. Did I switch any signs? On both of them, right? So which one tells me that XY becomes -X, -Y? 180. Did you have?
Is there a space?
Well, I'm looking at that just as a rule. So on my work, I'm just looking at that. Now you guys said 180, so I'm just gonna write rotation 180. And then on the typing there will be a space there, and then here just there. So on the typing, those will be your spaces, and that's basically it. So we use the rules, and I'm gonna leave them here on the board to help you guys out. But if you can grab the paper and then literally rotate it, then rotate it. Yes. Number 7? Sure. Let's come out with a different number 7.
And number 6.
And number 6? Okay. That's a different number 6 as well. So let's do number 6 first. If you can see what's happening, by all means already do it. But if not, I'm going to follow G. My point G. The coordinates are 3, -1. My coordinates of G prime are 1, 3. So then I ask myself, it seems like the numbers swapped, 3, 1, 1, 3. So I'm just going to switch the Y and the